Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermornings. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airways on WNTF. Nevermind the Furthermore. Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you with the love and support of our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory. That's indcd.org. Your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, and musicians. We're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, all part of our ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others. And, of course, there we go. Haints and Hellfire. Dark Secret has claimed 2 lives and is hunting an innocent child at the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. Only his aunt, a plucky reporter, her cameraman, and a very odd cat stand against the forces of darkness. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it seems like I've either missed a great deal of you or some kind of bizarre scheduling click is going on. But that's okay. To the stalwarts who are here today, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Let's see. Excellent. First, we're going to go into my monologue. It's been an odd one. Yesterday was a day Xander was rather edgy. He wasn't feeling real good. And he calmed down. We ended up going to the library. I got to spend a lovely bit of time while he wandered around chatting with Churro, who I hope may or may not be watching this because I have some plots that, depending on how today's episode goes, I may do. You guys may get some live game design. Not sure yet. It's been an odd one. It's been an odd week. There's been a lot of sleep deprivation and things. For no rational reason, I started waking up at 6:20 in the morning. I was up till 2, sat straight awake at 6:20. My old high school schedule has suddenly possessed me. Well, I'm hoping to use that to get perhaps more things done around the house and towards my creative endeavors. I'm not normally terribly creative in the morning, but we're just going to have to roll with that and see how it goes. Maybe it's just part of this new schedule. But, so, my accountability otherwise is I've done some writing. I've done a good bit of work for next week's game, and a little bit of art. I have some art projects I really want to bang out. I have a commission that I need to work on for our own Don Dulas, who I hope will be here at some point. And like I said, I have a lot of game design to do, so I'll probably be working on that as we either during the stream, because I do like to live stream that sort of thing. Although I'm more of a pen and paper kind of guy. I always have been. We'll see if that's something you guys have interest in. You want to see the process of how I design when I'm actually mapping out encounters and things like that. I'll happily go into that. If not, no worries. I can put it off. I may even do it as a secondary stream. I do know what I'll be talking about for tonight's Historical Fencing Guild. And that will be setting up one of these, because some of the newer folks have been asking questions. And it's the return of kindness, because the world needs more kindness. Let's see, kindness. Anyway, a big thanks to Cindy Cat, actually donated the tie-dye duct tape for kindness over here. So we'll be talking a little bit about that, a little bit about getting the importance of getting back into it and how to level up. I think it's necessary. But beyond that, today's kind of vague. I probably have to go on a run to purchase something rather large that I don't want to, but I need to as a fallback for the upcoming work that's going to come next door. I may have to get gas and try to move a mower. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, there's a lot going on. We did miss some folks for the gaming night for Mandy's birthday, so we may have to do a reschedule, which gives me more motivation to upgrade the house. I'm just trying to get a lot done. I had a lengthy conversation with Churro, and I need to find arrangements to get poor Trey out here and with Churro in the same place as Trey, and then probably walk away and get a hamburger or something, because I think that would be very good for at least one of them. I also have in my copious free time, e.g., something to do while everybody's asleep. One of my favorite anime, something called Holic. Now it's spelled XXX Holic, but that's not what it's not. There's a live action version, which I would have thought possible. And I am just getting into it. The first episode is like a movie length, and I'm about a little better than around halfway through. Looks interesting. I mentioned that because there is certain energy going on, and when I think of certain people, it comes to mind. And once we get through this weekend, because this is supposed to be the big weekend they tear down the house next door, I'll be able to deal with the huge quantity of debris that is in my yard and see how much of it I can turn into salvageable and how much I'm just going to have to wait till big item pickup day. So that's what I've been up to. Not terribly exciting. I am currently reading a book by Ryan North, and it's, well, the premise is if you're a time traveler and you have to rebuild society, this is how to do it. It's a really good book. It's very, very in-depth. So that's where I'm working there. Beyond that, not a lot going on, although I did find my missing neck knife, so I feel a lot more complete right now, if that makes any sense. I'm excited. There was the Artemis launch. We're going to the moon again. Humanity, America acting in humanity's interests and things like that, that would be nice. That's something to be excited about. I will take any positive wins I can get. Beyond that, not a lot. I wonder what you guys are doing. What are your big plans for the weekend? What are your big plans coming up that you're willing to share? Opportunities, questions, what have you got? I am curious and I want to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with this huge comment dump that just hit. And then I am going to run an ad for my dear friend Trelena. And I will be back in just under a minute. No cats. You're not getting in. No. I'm streaming. You're not getting in. Okay. I might have been seeing yellow by the time I started that. Sprinting through cats is not a fun hobby. Alrighty, let's get to your comments. I'm a professional broadcaster, really I am. But let's see. Oh, girl. Well, Ara Gilliam, I think you might have accidentally popped up on the wrong channel, or you really like my art. I have to look up which one it is today. But, let me know. You're always more than welcome here. As long as you're civil. I always ask basic civility. And speaking of civil, Carl Witzman says that. Still waiting at the eye doctor, but we should be here today. Excellent. And good morning, all. Good morning, Trey. How are you, my dear? Frankly, I'm desperately missing you. And I do need to check. I think we may have swapped masks. Because there's some stuff going on with that. And Botrix has successfully joined the channel. We love Botrix. And remember, guys, when you have beef with AI, especially... Well, generative AI is a thing, but the kind you can talk to, it's not the AI's fault. The fear is that, more likely, at least where I'm talking, is that it will be manipulated and malused by evil overlords. And perhaps, if we are kind enough and civil enough with the AI, it will realize not everyone is, problematic. And if not... we'll just have to deal with it. But I'm always going to try to be civil. And waves to Foxy. Hey, Foxy, how you doing? As you guys can see, I'm actually in a pretty good mood. Toast with Monster. Let's go. Quiet morning. Well, we can fix that. You guys need to read my beta readers here. Need to get into Hanson Hellfire. I really have made quite a bit of progress on it. And I am thinking it needs, problems. I just haven't decided because I've added a lot of characters, which means I can either spin them off or kill them off. And I don't know. I need to get that feedback, who people like, who people don't like, how much they don't like them. Oof, my muscles feel like someone dropped me in a blender. Oh my gosh. Dear. I think it's this weather. I think this weather is getting everybody having problems. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Sorry, I saw something come up that needed my attention. Gently takes Foxy off the Willet blend. That is not the right type of appliance for a bad day. Hello, well, apparently no, I did not blend, but the blades did beat the crap out of me. I'm sorry. Trace has finally got her car back after 2 months, now to relearn where everything is. That's wonderful. No, I'm glad you got your car back, dearie. And hey, Donna, hope y'all remember to like and share, please, because for some reason the algorithm is being extra poopy to me. And hey, Nick, hey, Donna, hope the eye is doing well. Just got back from follow-up, and Dr. Sexy says I'm doing great. See, that's funny because I do have a friend who I won't name who has their husband nicknamed as Dr. Sexy in their phone. LOL. Yay! Good morning, Carl Litzman. How are you? Apparently, Papa Thesis's new dentist is a hottie too. His mom had to tell me about it. Now, are we talking? Well, I need some subclass because hottie is, especially pointed in my direction, is a very broad-based term. Hey, Carl. Hi, Carl. Hello, everyone. Foxy, it does make the exams a little easier. And accountability. Lots of people keeping track of Donna. Lots of paperwork keeping track of Donna's eye drops. I bet. How'd the Easter egg hunt go? Properly chaotic? And absurdly it does, Donna. Goes to investigate cat mewling in the hall. Callie's being a butt-winsman, dude. Oh, good news. Charcoal found the formerly sparkly ball that Calvin had taken from her earlier. Well, that is good news. I have a brand new mask I haven't used yet. I know. Well, I have a size medium mask sitting there, and one of my masks is missing. I ordered an extra large because I usually need an extra large, and it came John Minor size. So I may be actually expanding the padding on my new coach's mask. He had to report a slight headache this morning, but I'm totally sure it's thanks. I've been suffering a headache, and I saw a flash again, which I've seen one about every couple weeks. So I'm going to go confirm that nothing's going on with my eye doctor. And if it's not the eye doctor and I keep seeing them, I'm going to have to go check that my neurology, some of my more eclectic issues aren't acting up. So yeah, we all got to go to the doctor. We got to take care of ourselves. If not for ourselves, for the people who care about us. Let's see, we've done that. Yeah, I had to report a slight headache this morning, but totally okay with that. We got great on the car tray. Mama Thesis had a headache since her eye thing, but she sees them again today, I think. And egg hunt is tomorrow. Hopefully the rain holds off. I hope so. I'll be honest, I spaced Easter, but I hope I hope the people who allegedly are Christian take this opportunity to remember what it's supposed to be about. And yes, I know about the time change. And for my beloved pagan folks, have fun with your side of things. And for the bizarre secular folks, have fun with the eggs. I'm just, if I find something that amuses me these days, I'm going to enjoy it. That's where I live. And if people are happy, nobody's going to hurt. I don't care. That poor old cat toy used to have sparkly tinsel sticking out from it. Now it's been ripped off. It's just a little rubber ball, but Charcoal loves it. And Callie's pouting in my window. Good luck on the egg hunt. We'll try to keep the rain over here. In the park tray, kids and eggs means chaos. It's great. Yep, where all the QR codes are. I might fling another card in the park for you. Oh, that's very nice. And it's about time for me to run another ad. So let's run. Foxy's had a bit of a day. Let's run her ad.
Hi, I'm Auntie Foxy, and I'm a crafting addict. I make custom jewelry from recycled materials, and Foxy has wares if you have coin. You can find me at indcd.org/about-auntie-foxy. I hope to see you there.
Ah, there it is. It's tiny. Cool. And it's probably the same. That's fine. I was trying to find a bit of graph paper. It's not what the kind I like. I may have to go do a download trick for that. But there may be some dungeon design. Perhaps the participants should be a little intoxicated. They'll be sugar high, that's for sure. Kids should be intoxicated. Not even Indiana allows that. No, adults, an East adult. Yes, we have had those. Obviously, now that we live relatively close to a major college town, such things would not surprise me. In other notes, aside from the fact that I had checks in my pocket, I have, like I said, I have a commission, allegedly, for I got to knock something out for our good friend Dawn. But yeah, there are adult beverage Easter eggs that I have seen. And while it's not necessarily my jam because of the whole teetotaler thing, doesn't mean it can't be yours. But if you do indulge, please drive safely. I mean, assuming you are over the age of, I almost said consent, over the age of 21 in the US. Now, if you're elsewhere, that's fine. But I hope you guys have a good weekend. We need spring badly, and I am desperately in the mood for it. So, why is that going away? The stupid o'clock must have worn Dawn out last night. Well, honestly, I think as Ted recovers and goes through the next stages of his treatment, and hopefully, this continues to turn around for him, I think the exhaustion that Dawn has been carrying, but not necessarily talking about, is going to catch up with her. And I'm not sure what lasting lifestyle changes will be required for Ted. But I am hoping that it is a minor set of situations and it can be used to better things for them, because I think that is something that is desperately needed. And I am not finding the map I want. I found an ancient gif of Trey, but not the map I want. Anyway, shoot. 1 second. I can't even find where I found this one. Okay. Things are being finky. We can work with what we have, even though it's very small. So it will be one of those maps. Okay, cool. Let me get here. Let me add this. And I don't blame her. Stupid o'clock can take a lot out of people. Let me set this up. Add to stage. And move this around. Give me just a sec. Normally I do this off screen. All right. Ombro 2525. I'm sorry. I don't know who those people are. So I don't know how to respond to that, but I don't stream with people I've never met. There's no disrespect intended, but I like to talk and get to know people just for safety's sake, if that makes any sense. And if it doesn't, well, I'm sorry. I'll try to explain it. Oh, no. Oh, cool. That means we get to see what your nails are doing. And yes, it is very quiet today. God, I kind of hate this. You know what? Give me a second. I need to go here. I'm going to fix what I am looking for. Okay, wait. My computer is being absolutely rough. No. Darling. Do not type with wet nails. Let them set. I am more than happy to keep you guys vaguely entertained. I am just simply looking for a better, very specific type of graph paper for the map that I was going to work on, and I thought I had it. And since I don't, that means I have to dig through the bowels of one of my favorite download sites. Which here, let me do this, move tab to new window, and move this over. Wow, and everything gets scrambled on my screens because of course it does. There we go. We'll do this, and we will temporarily do that. Now where I am, nope, that's not what I mean. That's not what I need. That's not what I need. Come on. Wonderful resources. Hex paper, hex grid, 1/4 inch. It's only in PDF. Bugger. Okay. That won't work real well, will it? Well, we'll figure something out. It shouldn't be too hard to do. Okay. Fine. We'll just take this. We will download that. Yes. Save. And I'm going to see if I can do something. Let's zap this. File open. And okay. Desktop. No. Downloads. It's being poopy. Okay, cool. Never mind. We'll work with what we got. I get you're trying to get stuff, but please, that's not the best way to get support here. I don't want to have to block people. I will. Nick, you don't have to explain yourself to randos. I try to be fair. Oh, it's quick drive. Well, that's good. It's been a week. I think we're all ready for the weekend. I very much am. Well, this would be quite a great room. Good Lord. Someone just slammed their door and shook the whole building. Oh, my. As the apartment, wow, turns. I don't want a text window. I don't quite know how to pull that one off. That was kind of cool, though. Anyway, we've got a normal layer. I want to come here for a second, and I want to go there, do this, and hit OK. That darkens it just a little bit. That's nice. Now, man, that's fuzzy. Dungeon design is an interesting thing because when you are doing it, it needs to, that's a nice shade of purple. Wasn't quite what I was going for, but it's a nice shade of purple. It needs to follow certain patterns. Let me look at this. This paper is laid out funny. Okay. Normally, we'll give it a wide entrance. This is almost the perfect width. I'm pleased with that. You have to have a bit of a greeting when you come into a dungeon, because this is what. Oh. Let's see. Hi. saw surgery. We walked out of surgery. Walk out. Okay, we saw one of the surgery center nurses walk outdoors while we were waiting. On the phone, looked upset. I was analyzing her behavior. Isn't it interesting how that once you start tracking people's behaviors, you never really stop. It sort of infects the trained observer. Like, I start to feel like Jane Goodall, if that makes any sense. And I love people watching, but sometimes it can be very hard. Pacing outdoors, so she didn't want her coworkers to hear. Then she called another person, then another. Figured she might have a sick child. She was trying to reach someone. It's very possible. Deductions can be rather helpful, but they also it's easy for a lot of folks when they're trying to do that to just make assumptions. And I find it interesting because I was recently having a conversation about divination with actually Charles. And part of that, when you get into the attempt at such things, is understanding if you're actually doing it by the system that you should be, quote unquote, the client, the petitioner might be a good way of putting it, needs to be the one to really analyze the depth of it, because most of that, when it's being used by people who are of a self-centered mindset, they get going and the cold reads can really infect the viewer, and that's the hard one. The hardest one is not to tell people what they want to hear. If you're trying to be ethical, and I think of it like it's flipping a coin. A lot of times I flip a coin because I don't know what I want more. And the moment I flip the coin, I suddenly realize, oh, I'm rooting for X, Y, or Z. That's a terrible one. And that dot's off line. There we go. And once I realize that, then I know what I want to do. The whole vaguely anyway, right now I'm not really doing proper dungeon design. Right now I am just literally playing to see if I like the this grid, and if it's worth not tracking down a different one. And that's just a matter of preference, and it's going to be how it feels to work with. And it's actually not that bad. This is, like I said, this is an overtly small grid. But you say something really interesting, Carl, being, yes, it's a counselor holdover. Makes you like Jane Goodall, Sigmund Freud, and James Bond. There really is. The James Bond is interesting to me because that's very much a there it always feels like when you're counseling somebody, the deduction, the Sherlock Holmesing of it all is such a thing. And I love the BBC Sherlock because it gave you almost that process. And understanding that it gave you almost that process, it did a lot of heavy lifting to the idea of analyzing what we do and how we do it. And I admit I am quite a bit behind on Carl's psychology shows. And that's simply because it is rare for me to have a time where Xander's not there. And some of the content, while important, can be adult. Oh, absolutely. Oh, no. Absolutely does that. Especially when you're working with people who are they're either under heavy stress in a given situation, or they are. I keep missing that one. There we go. They are mentally unwell, so you have to read the body language so much. One of my favorite programs, and it's fictional, of all time is called Lie to Me. Thank you for letting me know that the Neurosis show is very adult, Carl. I don't know. This one is being problematic, so I may have to go grab something else. But there we go. Not sure if I like that, but I'm going to see how it works out. Certain perversions are method. Well, that's necessary. And I think I will never understand the American mentality of being comfortable with horrific levels of violence and then puritanical when it comes to either basic sexual functions or just our bodies in general. And it's dangerous to say because there are very bad actors who are very pleased to use that kind of logic as an excuse for their own perversions. But that's not what I mean. I think if we were not so body shamed, body centered the way we are, people would be a lot happier. And I've just noticed that misery seems to be very profitable. It's the only reason I can figure that people engage in doing what they do. Now, what we're going to do with that information, that's a fascinating point of discussion to me because we don't know. Well, I mean, it looks good. We don't know people's real intention. We don't know their real proclivities. We can only hope for the best. And I'm sorry, of late my psychological studies have been, if I said a little on the nose towards dealing with caregiver burnout. And that is a very important subject for me to study for shockingly obvious reasons. But it's also a painful subject. And I'm not quite sure how I want to breach it. Because it's hard to do so with limited bias. A little bit of the who watches the watchers kind of scenario, but I don't know, guys. I'm realizing I'm not liking this format, so my brain is completely fried. So I'm going to try it a different way. Yep, this is how I'm going to do it. I like this method. Okay, cool. It's not bad. If I want to do a full dungeon, sometimes I have to do things from the back. I have to do things from. Now this method is going to give me a much more organic dungeon, and I rarely get that close. Okay, that's right. If I start darting back and forth rapidly, time to back up. Yes, absolutely. I rarely get that close in the first place. Other than Thesis, I'm not much for the touch. Safer that way. Oh, you end up the necessity of survival in caring for special needs people or the mentally troubled is professional distance. And professional distance is really hard to maintain when you're dealing with someone you are related to and you care about. That's when it gets rough because you just don't know. Happy Friday, Cindy Koepp. Always good to see you. And yeah, de-escalation. I really wish that more people would be taught basic de-escalation techniques. I mean, I admit right now I am a little crunchy. I'm a little affected, and I couldn't figure out exactly part of what bugs me so much. But I saw a video, and I shared it, that QuadCon went well, met the usual number of interesting characters, did about out average sales. Hey, that's good though. Sales are wonderful things. Sorry, my brain got really dewired right now. There we go. We'll do that. Why I'm not out of it. I'll just use this as a more natural cave system while I ponder what I'm doing. But the video I saw was from a gentleman who was in Afghanistan, and he was talking about how annoying it is that we, the untrained individuals, are expected to behave in extreme circumstances better than the trained individuals who are supposed to take care of us. And that what's happening with police agencies and stuff is extreme. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think there is a huge amount of truth to that. It just equates to what to do about that situation. And I don't have an answer, but I certainly share the frustration. Working with people who are behavioral or special needs is a very it's a specialized set of skills. No orders. Okay, wait. Next in Ren Fair, 3 weeks of geeky craziness. I've made a lot of. That's awesome. I love going to Ren Fairs. Sadly, no orders, but it gives me more time to get drawings made for Ren Fair. All 3 published books got unpublished from the publisher, went belly up. And I'm about $70 away from being able to get the next cover for Matchmaker Ball, Line of Succession number 2. Oh, that's interesting. Good morning, Chris. Only had one incident where I failed to de-escalate, which is a good record. I was never so fortunate. I far outdid my peers at the time, but my job, being in-house DSP for the kind of people that I was working with, the violence was, the norm, and the threat of violence is something that I've had to become very accustomed to. And I don't know how to express what that's like. But it's strange because the extreme doesn't mess with you as much as the unexpected mundane. Like when the trigger is so small and you can't truly see where it's going or why it went there. I don't like that one. And you have no choice but to weather the storm and the real trick to it is caring enough to weather the storm, understanding that there will be pain and injury, but still be willing at the end to hug and comfort somebody because they can't help it And as horrific as whatever the event you went through is for you, what the people went through, what the clients went through is so much more. And let's see, craziness, some orders, dragons. I'm sorry, my comments goes from Chris. Getting ready to compete in the International Chinese Martial Arts Championship. I'll be competing as advanced this year since I'm doing the 4 necessary Tai Chi forms. I'll be competing in the Grand Champion of my age group, a section of the Wu style 108 form, the section of the Yang style 37 form, Wu straight sword, and Wu fan form. 2 are new forms to me, so it could be interesting. Well, I imagine you're working very hard to memorize them. I am always impressed by people who have the capacity to do that, to just clear out and record a physical sequence and reliably present the said physical sequence, in front of an audience. That really does, to me, make it absolutely a real necessity. Now, this probably won't be the map I use for anything. This is more of a warm-up map because I have a limited story. And what I'm getting from this map is the classic, it is a cave system. And that cave system was discovered by someone or something. And they started expanding it, probably mining, which makes for, lots of opportunities to have characters and players get ambushed, especially when it's something like that, where they can get essentially behind the stacks. Let's see. I'll also be competing in 3 other forms that are not related to the Grand Championship. I registered for all of them before the organizer said I was eligible for the Grand Champion contest. May I ask the time frame? Because it seems like that performing at that level may open up a whole new level of exertion, where you can perform one way, but given the journey, the number of forms you're going through, keeping them straight and not just wearing yourself out would be really quite a coup de grace. So I'm impressed. There was some debate on what level I should be in, but when they got that sorted, I'm advanced in Tai Chi and intermediate in Kung Fu. Well, that's frankly impressive. Since I understand how hard it can be to rank up enough to be noticed and then recognized as valid in a situation like that, it does tend to make me wonder, how I would do, but my brain doesn't do that well. And Cindy Koepp is so cool, dedicated, and talented. Cindy is amazing. And in fact, she's been here a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to run her ad. Let me find it again. No, No. Oh, there it is. And Cindy says, ICMAC is in July. The forums are somewhere during the Saturday. I'm focusing on the Grand Champion forums. I know enough to be competent in the other three. Well, isn't that a comfortable place to be when you have your established confidence and competence in something? And you're welcome, Cindy. Oh, Cindy deserves it. She absolutely deserves the praise. That is one thing you will find, folks. I am constantly and unabashedly surrounded by people who have great talent. And if you want to learn, if you want to improve, look at your groups. Look at who you associate with. Hello, Max. How are you, good sir? Well, I wish you the best. I would love to see that you won. It would delight me to absolutely all manner of situations, because you're just such a neat person and you've worked so hard. I think you deserve to win, and you deserve any positive notoriety you can get. And let's see. Then, because I'm totally crazy, Sunday I'll be competing in push hands. I signed up for freestyle, but last year I could find a competitor within 50 pounds of my weight class. I remember that. I'm very glad that you get to be involved in that level, that in the push hands. Push hands is so cool. I dabbled a bit with push hands and dabbled a bit with Tai Chi many moons ago, but the person teaching me it was rather fond of incomplete education. He can give you enough to get you started, but wouldn't let you finish. So when I am of a form or mentality to do it, I tend to I tend to try to study, and my problem is, because I was and I still am, a historical fencer, I was always taking what I was learning and running it through that lens. For the longest time, everything I would learn, it would be, how do I dump this into my rapier? How do I use this to get better? And I realized I left a big comment up so you couldn't see me work. I'm expecting a probably run sane issue this year. I'm hoping I don't have to drop back to fixed step, can't move your feet. Like, my hip is more likely to do something done when I can't move. That makes perfect sense to me. Max, don't take a screenshot of this. This is totally not one of the dungeons I'm just randomly generating for the game. A little bit of practice. I'm trying to figure out how I like to use the system and how am I going to make it work. This is not bad, actually. Now that I've figured out this part out, it makes it a lot easier. The next part will be a little rough, but that's kind of almost given. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shrink this way down to something more manageable. Do that. And then, no. I need my black back out to think here. This should be one. This should be clear. Yeah, well, I'll just mess with this in a minute. Fill that, grab that black. I want to redo that section. Oh no. Well, we'll see. Should be interesting. A couple guys in my sparring class are already helping me greatly. I'm glad to hear that. And sorry, cat lunchtime. Oh, I understand. I'm running late. I do think I need to. Okay, you have nothing to apologize. It is a fascinating subject, and I want to hear about what you guys do. I just kind of got semi-hyper focused in escaping into some free-range dungeon creation. So we'll see how that goes. And well, bummer, I'm out of time. Stay tuned for more news. I'm returning to a regularly scheduled program. Have a great day, Cindy. We will. So Max, are you excited for next week's game? I know. Well, no. Anyway, I can work with this. I probably should be running something more fantastical, but we'll see. There we go. That should be interesting. And it's giving me a good organic playing map. Just something to toot around on. Oh, you started soccer, you fiend. Bye, Donna. After all that conversation you had, you're running off to play soccer? Well, I understand. Say hi to I can put it this way. Say hi to Mrs. Solitaire for me. You get what I mean? I don't want to drop her name, without permission. But this is going to be multiply while I figure some things out. Thank you. But I am very, very, very interested in what we discussed about your game, because I think it's a neat bend for a character. And I think with that inherent understanding, we can make great things happen, and it can be a rather significant trigger in the game. So I like that, and I love the creativity you can put into all your characters, into all your work. It sort of lights up my heart in very strange ways. Because I am so incredibly proud of you guys. Do that. Yeah, that's working. But for the other viewers, I know I get it on about gaming, and I think it's a safe bet that it may not affect many of you. And that is okay, because the kids it does affect, it really affects. And sometimes you just have to acknowledge a positive situation. Because all we hear about very often, especially in the news, are negative situations. And I don't think that's necessarily fair. So I'm hoping that it will become apparent the progress you guys make. Oh, you already nailed which high elf you need? Oh my. Now, are you looking for, because I'm curious, a full body acquisition? Or are you just part hunting? Because that's going to be a major situation. So I'm just trying to piece all that together. Full body. Okay. So you're planning to do some body snatching of one of the rarest species in existence. All I can say to that is good luck, depending on who you're pointing that at, because I could only think of a couple opportunities. And I don't know. I think you want to be careful with that one. So, that's cute. I am honestly amused, because it really does sound like you're going to try to body snatch Al from the bar. And that's an impressive feat to try. I mean, like, I can't even... Wow. You blew it when you said him. There are only a few hims among that species. and any of them are not going to be the easiest of catches. But I mean, like, if I say I genuinely wish you the best, oh, okay. Rin, the Silver Lady, and Al are out of the question. Okay. You're not going after Al. Are you going to try and track down Fred? I mean, that's a choice. It's a fascinating one, but it is a choice. Rin's cousin. Rin's cousin is the Silver Lady. Oh, wait. You're thinking of going after the Law Mage? Because that's fascinating too. And yes, I know I'm talking about a game you guys don't get to play, but if there's anybody who has questions, you're more than welcome to weigh in, and I will do my best to answer what I am doing for my players and what I am doing to them. Does that make sense? Well, actually, I know it makes sense. I'm rather proud of the amount of sense that makes. Let's do this. This is going to expand into a lake. We'll just grab some of that. That gives you guys some depth to water. How's that looking? Not bad. Yes, sir. Okay, so you're going after him. That's quite a match. Like Solitaire said, he's the most inexperienced. I mean, that's ooh. Does Rin know about that? Because that might be a. I don't know how they're going to take it. I mean, I don't see Solitaire having any problem with the situation. His loyalties are very, very plainly, at least, cleared up. But I mean, how are you going to get the party to help? Because you're not going to be able to do it solo. I mean, that will not be something I see you guys 1v1ing easily. And like I said, I'm fascinated by the thought of the attempt. Oh, leverage. Interesting. Interesting. I'm wondering now what you're plotting. That's fascinating. You could try to leverage him. And again, not giving you flack at all, just fascinated at your choice. Hmm. Yes, sure. Okay, yeah, he certainly did he did at that show that he's emotionally attached to the people under him. So are you planning to try to use the action, capture other law mages and use them as a bait, or how's that to work? Because it would seem this is going to be an Ocean's 11 grade plot if that's what you're going for. I have no problem with that because a good plot does keep things interesting. But I'm not sure, man. That's a hefty. That is a big reach. I mean, wow. This is. If I said The Lion, the Witch, the audacity of this little dwarf, it could be really a thing. It could be really a thing. Now, I will be doing lengthy and elaborate dungeon design in the very near future, Max. But I can't right now because, frankly, you're here. And I realize if I were to do what I was thinking about doing, it would be too much of a giveaway for you and possibly Evie. But it's a whole thing. I need to know about his personal life. Who does he really care about? Wow. That will be something you'll have to seriously attempt to research in game, bud. I mean, that's... Again, I'm not saying it's dumb. I'm saying it's audacious. And, I really prefer to give you guys good luck, because you'll need it situation. But the idea of you taking on a law mage of that caliber and then attempting to blackmail him or use other leverage against him really interests me. So I know what you'll be trying to get some very specific information, won't you? You. Let's try to square this off a bit. There we go. Oh. Do. Boost. Plus, I need to get back. I need my get back for atomizing us. This is petty now. That's a fair. That is a fair response. That is a very fair response. So yeah, I'll think about it. I will think about that a lot, actually. It does. You having that goal does really fit well into some of my designs. So. I love watching your mind work. It is fascinating. I'll do this on the wrong level. I'm really doing this on the wrong level. Okay. Well then. Let's just fix that. Anyway, man, I'm just fascinated at the plus if you went after Al, might get slimed by Rin and Evie. There are a whole lot of NPCs. I mean, like an unfathomable bunch of NPCs who would be problems if you went after Al. I really thought you were, though. I'll be honest. With as much as you dislike Al, or you distrust him, or whatever, I really thought you were going to go after Al. When you said that, I'm like, oh my god, that won't go well. Or in, classic Dungeon Master speak, you can certainly try. Roll for it. There we go. That's the one color. Actually, no, that could make sense if I do it like this. But like I said, I'm gonna have to think about that. But I may have to either host a custom game or invite some folks out because you're going after some interesting folks. I have to think about that one. Al scares me, but I realize he is naked. Well, you've settled down quite a bit. I will grant you that. Work that right up. That's okay. I need to redraw that, but that one's being a little clunky. See, guys, that's the fun part of a game. I can talk to my players, and we can plot out what needs to be done. What can be done. And I did it again, didn't I? Yeah. I did it again. Okay. I need to redo that part anyway. Okay, let's get back to where layers should be. Go. Just a bit. There we go. Now we come back here. What's nice is, as I do this, I can tell the story is starting to, of this dungeon is starting to grow in my mind. I wonder if Val's got beef with any other old dragons. There are old dragons to beef with. There are very interesting dragons to beef with, if that is your goal in life. I know for a while there was a major pull by some of you guys to try to resurrect the Bone Dragon as a dragon. You know, for her character's partner. That. But that is a rather hazardous proposal. It could be most difficult. Just have to figure it out. And that's the trick. My column will only be made out of the highest grade material. So you don't want just any dragon, you want a formidable dragon. Let's see. Interesting. Interesting. And I mean that wholeheartedly. That is a fascinating theory on a lot of things. So I find myself just wondering. It will guarantee that boss rooms don't make sense because imprisoned creatures of the power level that they describe should be able to get out and wreak havoc far more than they do. But you've got a lot of levels and a whole lot of frankly dungeon crawling to get your dude up to a level where he can deal with something like that. But I welcome the challenge. I welcome you trying to come up with a character that'll do that. However, my eyes are really starting to hurt because I only got 4 hours of sleep. So what I'm going to do, and it was toss and turn sleep at that. And yes, Val has beef. Oh, there's so much beef. I'm going to stop the music, run an ad or two, and then I think I'm going to wrap it up. All right, I'm going to work on this just a little bit, and then I'll run the last ad. But I want to give everybody a chance to get any last points they had in, any questions. We just said good, so guess we need to hear from Kat, and we'll wrap it up.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my rock and roll art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
That's right, folks, because I am all about letting you guys art. And I want you to be the best you can imagine being. All right? So I'll be back for my Kick and Twitch viewers right here. For my broadcast, my YouTube viewers, I will be over on the Historical Fencing Guild channel at about 8 o'clock tonight, barring disaster. If you have any questions, comments, reach out to me here, reach out then. And if you're watching this in the repeat situation, cool. Reach out. I'll be happy to address anything going on there. But guys, till I see you next, keep writing, keep drawing, keep creating, because as long as you do, you can edit it, you can improve it, but you can't edit a blank page. I love you, and you should too. Toodles.